So how you will be able to figure it out, that the physical formula that you have written, whether it is correct or not? To figure it out, please watch this video till the end and you will be able to figure it out by yourself. I am Nirpesh Kumar, and today in this tutorial I will tell about units and measurements part 2. In the previous video we have studied about physical quantities, their definition. There are two types, that is fundamental and derived. The difference between fundamental and derived quantities. 7 fundamental quantities and 2 fundamental quantities. Plane angle, solid angle, the international system of units. There are 4 kinds. So we will start this part 2 from here. So it starts from uncertainty and error in measurements. Okay. So first comes no measurement can be exact. Means we can never get exact value experimentally. Why? Because measurements are performed with instruments and no instrument can read to an infinite number of decimal places. Okay. We will try to understand uncertainty with an example. Suppose we measure temperature of something with the help of a thermometer and it gives us the value 37.2 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this value, it is not sure that the temperature of that thing is exact 37.2 degrees Celsius. It might be 37.4 degrees Celsius, 37.25 degrees Celsius, 37.254 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that decimal places, that is not fixed, hence we can say that we can never get exact value experimentally. This is our uncertainty. Error in measurement is expected because of the imperfect nature of our measuring devices. The inevitable uncertainty is inherent in all measurement. Okay, and it is not to be confused with a mistake or blunder. So now we will come to accuracy and precision. So what is accuracy? Accuracy refers to the agreement of a particular value with the true value. And what is precision? Precision refers to the degree of agreement among several measurements which are made in same manner. Now we will try to understand this accuracy and precision with the help of few examples. We all are familiar with this thing and we know what to do. We have to hit that red spot with arrows. Okay, not arrow, I'm using 3 arrows. Okay, so I will hit and let's see whether it hit on the red spot or not. Okay, so I missed here. Okay, so what we can say about precision? They are also not precise because they are randomly oriented. Okay, so this is our conclusion about this first attempt. They are neither accurate nor precise. Okay, let me try that red spot with 3 arrows and here it comes. Oops, again I missed. Okay, so one thing is sure, that it is not accurate, but there is something different this time. This seems to be precise, huh? Because they are equally spaced. Okay, they are hitting the circumference of that green area, means we can say that they are precise but they are not accurate. Again let me try with those 3 arrows and we will see whether I am able to hit that red spot or not. It's okay. So okay, here I come. Oh yes, this time I hit. So what you can say this time? First of all, they are accurate. It is pretty sure. Why? Because they hit that spot, red spot, which I am supposed to hit. Okay. And about precision, if they are accurate means they are precise. Okay, so that's it. So with this example you can easily understand the difference and basics of accuracy and precision. So now we will come to significant figures. Okay, so what is this? Everybody know this is a ruler. A ruler is an analog measuring device, and this one is voltmeter. So we will see one example. So what is the length of the line? Okay, where is the line? Let me get the line. Okay, here it is. Okay, so we have to measure the length of this line. How we can measure? It is very easy. It's with the help of a scale. Anybody can measure the length of this line. Okay, so let me take one scale. Okay, here you can see that it is marked that it starts from here 0, like that, 0.5, 1, like that. Now, so what's next? I will draw one perpendicular line. Suppose I say that this is the length of this line. How I will be able to justify my answer? If we consider this 1.28, why? Because that big step, it is 1, it is covered fully. Okay, if it is beyond 2, we could have written 2 point something, to certain digit would be 2. Since because it is covering 1, that's why certain digit is 1. Another certain digit is 2. Another certain digit is 2. Why? Because it is covering these two gaps fully. Now uncertain digit is 8. Why? It is not completely filled and there is no small marking inside it. So we can say this portion, that green one, it is uncertain and approximately it might be 7 or 8. Okay, so this is our estimate. So this uncertain digit we usually call estimate also. So we can say that significant figures are all certain digits plus one uncertain digit. So what are the significant figures here? This 1, 2 and 8 means total 3 significant figures are there in this one. We will take one more example. Okay, so first we study about analog. Now we will come to digital, because here the only digits will be there. Okay, so if measuring with digital measuring device, one does not know if the last digit is the result of rounding up or rounding down, or it is the measured digit. Okay, so we will see. Okay, so we have one battery. We will connect that battery with multimeter. Okay, we will put all those two wires, red and black, means positive and negative. Okay, and we will rotate the knob. Okay, here it is, and it gave us a value 09.4. Okay, so what we can say, that here we have significant figures, so it gave us 09.4. Okay, so significant figure in this case will be all certain digits plus one uncertain digit. Okay, last one, 4. Okay, because beyond 4 though we don't know what it might be there. Okay, so we will simply take that 4. Okay, now we will take some examples regarding significant figures. Okay, how long is this line? We already find out. Okay, it is 1.28 centimeter or maybe 1.27 centimeter long. 1 and 2 are the certain digits, 8 or 7 is the uncertain digit. Okay, now come to next example. What is the reading on each of the graduate cylinders? Okay, and read to the bottom of meniscus. So we have to read this value and we have to read this value. Okay, so remember, here it is 50 to 60 and here it is 6 to 8. So it will be 50, it is here, okay, 51, 2, okay, 3 it is not touching, so it will be 51, 52.8 something like that. And in this case it is 6, 8 means this will be 7, okay. It is 3, 1, so it will be 6.2462. In this case it will be 6.2. Let us see the answers. Okay, so in the first case it is 52.8 ml. Okay, in this case 8 is uncertain, okay, the last digit it is uncertain. And in the second B case it is 6.62 ml, and in this case the 2 is uncertain. So here are some rules. All non-zero digits are significant. These significant figures 438, 264 and 2 also significant figures, 7 and 5 also significant figures. Okay, see here three significant figures are there, here 4 significant figures are there, and in this case 2 significant figures are there. All zeros between non-zero digits are significant. Okay, so in this case this 0 it is not significant figure. Okay, why? Because we can write it like 1.206 into 10 to power 3 meter like that, so this we can exclude. Okay, it won't affect the result, but in this case we cannot exclude any zero because these zero are in between non-zero digits. Okay, so here in this case we have 4 significant figures, and in this case we have 5 significant figures. Filler zeros to the left of an understood decimal place are not significant. It means here this 0 it will not be counted as significant figure. This 0 also won't be counted significant figure, but this 30 point, this we cannot exclude. It means this will be our significant figure. Okay, but because we don't know what might be there after this decimal point, no? In this case our significant figure are 2. In this case our significant figure is 1. In this case our significant figure are 2. Filler zeros to the right of a decimal place are not significant. Okay, we will try to understand this with the help of example. This 0 we can exclude. We can simply write 0.6 into 10 to power minus 2, or 6.0, or we can simply write 6 into 10 to power minus 3 liter. Okay, so it means this will have one significant figure. In the same way this will also have one significant figure. Okay, both have one significant figure. All non-filler zeros to the right of a decimal place are significant figure. Okay, we will try to understand this statement with the help of example. So here is the example. It means all non-filler zeros to the right, like this 0 which is on the right and this 0 which is also on the right of a decimal point, both will count as significant figures. It means this will have 2 significant figure and this will have 4 significant figure. Here it is 2 and 4. So now we will do some more examples. We can also perform multiplication and division on these significant figures. In this way we can round our answer to same number of significant digits as the quantity with the fewest number of significant digits. See this. So here, suppose here we have to multiply 1.2 centimeter with 2 centimeter. Okay, it has 2 significant digits, it has 1 significant digit. Okay, we know that if we multiply 1 by 2 with 2, it will give us 2.4. But this 2 has only one significant figure, means here in the answer we can take only one significant figure, means this 0.4 we have to exclude, and our proper result will be 2 centimeter square. Okay. In the next example, this pi into 2.75 centimeter square. Okay. So this has three significant figures. Okay. And we also know here it is only pi, but pi we know it is 3.14, something like that. Okay, so if we multiply this, it will be 7.5625. Okay, but how many significant figures we can take here? That is only 3. So if we want to take 3 significant figures, what we can include? Only 7, 5 and 6. So here it is 756, means 7.56 centimeter is our proper result. In another example, this is 5.350 meter divided by 2.752 second. Okay, so this has 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figure, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures. Okay, when we divide this, we get this one, calculated result with the help of calculator. Okay, and what we can take? Only 4. So 4 will include 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1.944 meter per second will be proper result. The same way it is here with this 0.0075 Newton multiplied by 6 meter. Okay, so this has only two significant figure and this has only one significant figure. When we multiply this, we get this one. It means for proper result we can take only one significant figure. Okay, so for one significant figure, what we can include? 0 we can exclude, only 4. It means 0.04 Newton into meter we can take only for proper result. Now we will see addition and subtraction. Okay, suppose I want to add 1.2 centimeter plus 2 centimeter. What we can get? We will get 3.2 centimeter. Okay, but this 2 centimeter has the lowest significant figure. Okay, so the answer should be only with one significant figure. It means we have to exclude this 0, means 0.2. Our proper result will be 3 centimeter. So remember I asked you is how you will justify that the physical formula that you have written, it is correct. So dimensional analysis can tell you whether the physical formula that you have written is correct or not. So now we will look into dimensional analysis. So dimensional analysis is a technique to check the correctness of an equation or to assist in deriving an equation. Dimensions means length, mass, time and its combinations can be treated as algebraic quantities, means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And one important thing in dimensional analysis is both sides of equation must have the same dimensions. This we also call the law of homogeneity in dimensions. So this is the definition of dimensional analysis. Dimensions of physical quantities means expressing them in terms of fundamental quantities by raising them to certain powers. This is our dimensions. Example, so distance has dimension capital L, only one. Okay, area it has 2 because it is L into L. Volume has 3, means length into breadth into height, means L cube. Time has dimension capital T and speed has dimension capital L by T. Okay, so these are fundamental quantities and their respective dimensions. Length we have capital L, Mass we have capital M, time we have capital T, temperature we have capital K, current we have capital A, amount of substance we have capital N, luminous intensity we have capital J. Okay, one important thing every dimension of any unit, any dimension of any fundamental quantity or derived quantity, it is written in this big bracket only and in capital letters. Okay, now we will look into dimension of a physical quantity. For example, this is our density. We all know density is equal to mass upon volume. So further, density will be mass upon length into breadth into height. Okay, now we will try to write this density in term of dimension. Okay, so we started our big brackets from here for each and every quantity. So mass, it is m, length we can write L, breadth we can write L, and height also we will write L. So our density will be m upon L cube, and it will be ml to power minus 3. So with this ml to power minus 3, we can conclude one thing, that the dimension of density are in 1 in mass and minus 3 in length. Okay, means this m has power 1 and L length has power minus 3. So this is very important use of dimensional analysis, and it is to check the correctness of equation. Okay, let us consider one equation of displacement, s equal to u2 plus half at square, and we don't know whether this equation is correct or not. It might be wrong. Okay, so this s, let us say we have assumed this s as displacement, u as velocity, t is time, half is our constant, this a is acceleration, t again time. So displacement will be velocity into time, that is half acceleration into time square. Further, displacement will be equal to distance upon time, right? Because velocity is distance upon time. Okay, multiplied by time, plus acceleration is our distance upon time square. And in case of dimensions, we can always neglect these kind of constants. Okay, into time square. Further, displacement will be distance plus distance. Why? Because this time will cancel out this time, and this time square will cancel out this time square. Okay. So distance and distance, it will be our 2 distance, and 2 again we can exclude. Why? Because 2 is our constant. So displacement will be L plus L means 2L, it means L. Okay, the same thing. So left hand side is equal to right hand side, means we can say that this equation is very correct. So this is very important use of this dimensional analysis to check the correctness of equation. Okay, the dimension of each term are same, hence the equation is dimensionally correct. Okay, so rules of writing dimensions. So there are few rules which we have to follow while writing dimensions. Okay, always write dimensions in big bracket. The power are simply raised to 0 if the physical quantity is independent of a fundamental quantity. Okay, consider velocity, which is rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So its dimension will be L t to power minus 1. Okay, length upon time means L time inverse. So there is one law which is very useful in this dimensional analysis, which we call principle of homogeneity. According to this principle, the equation is dimensionally correct if the dimension on the left hand side of the equation are equal to the dimension on the right hand side of the equation. If not, the equation is not dimensionally correct. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any suggestion or doubt, feel free to write in the comment section. Thank you. Bye bye.